Austin Butler as Elvis. This movie is a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. I think the way that it's portrayed, the life of Elvis. And going into this, really had no idea. All I knew was Elvis was a singer, he's very famous. My grandma talks about him all the time, but to be honest, I had no idea about Elvis and his life. And, you know, in this movie, I think Baz Luhrmann, who directed it, did a very fantastic job of it. The way that, the audience, when you had the girls who were going nuts about Elvis, and the way that Austin Butler really portrayed Elvis was amazing. To be honest, I thought the movie, a little bit of a con for me was the movie was a little long. I do understand that, it was trying to get all of Elvis's, you know, every year, it was pretty important to Elvis, but sometimes they skipped some years of which I was really interested in, like 1974 to 1977. A lot of stuff probably happened during that time. I was really upset we didn't get to see that timeline of Elvis. But to be honest, I think, just the timeline of it was all right, can be a little better. But the way Elvis is portrayed is really amazing. When the first scene is him, like, getting ready for his first concert, and the way that, he came up with all these dances and moves, and from his history of being in Mississippi and growing up in that black culture and the music and gospel being preached to him every single day. I think that part of the movie Baz Luhrmann nailed. And to be honest, I think Austin Butler, the way he portrayed Elvis was amazing. He got the voice right, he got the hair right, the moves right. He said in an interview before that he trained for this for a year and a half, which is crazy to spend that amount of time training for a movie like this. It really shows too. He definitely, to me, should be in the conversation for Oscar this year. And to be honest, I think Tom Hanks did amazing with his role as Colonel Tom Parker. The whole time I was watching it, I was just so amazed by him because I didn't recognize that was him. Whenever he was acting as Colonel Tom Parker, I was so mad because Colonel Tom Parker took so much advantage of Elvis Presley, and I was just so ticked off every single time I saw Tom Hanks' face. But that's why he's such a good actor, because I didn't even notice that it was him. And to be honest, I think, him and Austin Butler had great chemistry together. I think that Baz Luhrmann knew what he was doing when he was casting these people. I'm really glad he didn't cast like a Harry Styles or like a, Leonardo DiCaprio, because they would have put probably not as much effort into it, I think, as Austin Butler did. So I think from now on, I think Austin Butler's going to be a big time name. He's going to be somebody that we're going to be looking forward to. Even though he's 30 years old, he still has a lot of years left. But overall, this movie is a really good movie. I think people who really are into movies and into Elvis should go see this. I think if you want to see something that is different and like not, the same that we've seen on like all these other movies like Jurassic World and stuff like that, I think you should definitely go see this movie. But to me, Baz Luhrmann, who directed The Great Gatsby and Romeo and Juliet, did really well in this movie. I'm really glad that he did a movie that was pretty good. Great Gatsby was pretty awful, so I'm just happy he pulled out a good movie. And if you want to go see a drama movie that has some crazy stuff in it, I would definitely recommend going to see this movie. To me, this movie is definitely an 8 out of 10, maybe like an 8.2, I'd say. Just like it was so long to me, because I was in the movie theaters while I was watching it, and I was like, dude, what time is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what time is it? It's kind of taking a long time, but that's what you kind of expect when we watch this movie, because they're trying to get every single detail of Elvis's life in it, basically. So overall, this movie is great. I'll give it 8.2 out of 10. Definitely recommend people go see it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's me, your boy.